Welcome to a new episode of Not Too Deep. I'm Grace Helbig. We got Felicia Day. She's back. You've heard her on the podcast before, but she's got more things going on, so we're talking to her all about it. She's got a new book out. Her child that came out of her body is getting older and is shitting in inappropriate places. And it's really forcing her into some unfortunate, but hopefully character building situations. You'll hear all about it on this episode of Not Too Deep with Felicia Day.
Not too deep.
Hey you, with the great idea that I bet you want to turn into a reality? Well, I got someone that's going to help you out. It's Squarespace. They make it easier than ever to launch your passion project, whether showcasing your work or selling products of any kind. They have beautiful templates and the ability to customize just about anything so you can easily make a beautiful website for yourself. And if you get stuck, they have 24/7 award-winning customer support that is there to help you out. Head to squarespace.com/grace for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Not too deep. Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
You have one fortune cookie? Just like one? Is that yours?
Well, we'll get to that later.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
We will handle that at a later moment.
Okay, I'll pour this in a noisy way.
That's great.
Okay.
It's the ASMR of it all. Cool.
I do this a lot. Is that annoying?
Well, that's the weird thing is that I'm not an ASMR person, but there's little moments of mouth noises that are kind of soothing that I get. I think maybe I'm developing it as I go.
As you get older, you're just like, I need people to smack in my ear.
Well, when you're taking photos with people and you're taking selfies and you can hear each other's mouths move.
Oh, no, that kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, that I'm not into. That's not my ASMR. Are you into ASMR at all in general?
No, I like to make fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that it serves a purpose for people, but I don't get the tingles.
It doesn't work on me.
Yeah.
No, but I'll start doing it. I stream on Twitch weekly for fun. And then I'll go, hey, let's kill this little ogre. And then people get really turned on and I'm like, I'm super uncomfortable.
Right. There's a line I feel like when it's used as a relaxation tool versus it's used as someone's getting a boner now.
I don't want imaginary boners in my life.
Yeah.
At all.
You've had too many years of that.
I know how many boners I've created you've created a lot of boners. You're a boner mama.
I feel
billions.
Here's what I feel like you've had this really wonderful transcendence of just slightly, and correct me if I'm wrong, not giving as much of a fuck, but owning everything that you're doing and loving everything that you're doing. Not that you weren't before, but being a mom, being someone that just says, I want to live stream, I want to write this book, I want to be a mom. These are the only things I want to do right now. And
I'm really YOLO right now.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean,
it
today,
seems that way.
This morning, I just got an email that a company passed on this TV show that I've been pitching, and I really didn't care.
Really?
For the first time, I was like, they're dumb. I don't say that in an arrogant way. I'm like, that was a dumb reason to pass.
Yeah.
And it's a great show. And if somebody doesn't want to make it, then I guess I'll do it as a book or I'll just not do it. I've kind of unhooked myself from the Hollywood yoke in a way where I could just go open a coffee shop in Seattle and be happy with myself.
That's how I feel constantly, that I'm like, I could start an Etsy shop. It'd be real bad, but I could start it and maybe be very fulfilled by that.
And I could live in a smaller town and I could do community orchestra and it would be fine, y'all. It would be fine because I'm just as good a person if I'm there as if I'm on the charts, quote unquote, or selling them projects. That's just barf.
But it must be an actual relief to give yourself permission to go, I don't really that's kind of okay that happened.
I think it's my lifelong journey for approval and getting verified that I'm an actual good human.
Sure.
It is. It's I didn't realize how driven I was in my whole life of just I want people to like me. I want people to approve of me. I want to be fancy so other people will be impressed with me.
Right. I want my resume to be what people actually think is interesting about me.
Yeah, I need at a party to be hi, what are you doing? Here's my 12 projects. I'm am I a human under that?
But it must be, I mean, your child, your kitten now is 2 years old,
She's
right?
a kitten. She's a kitten.
You're the kitten that you birthed is 2 years old
now.
No,
she's 2.5, and she's a real human being.
Yeah, I saw you tweeting about how she's bringing you gluten-free apple puree or some shit
Well,
like
she
that.
okay. She brought me a pouch, like those little pouches that you drink, eat applesauce out of, and she's like, "Mama, I got this on my work trip. It was from Paris. It's gluten free." She literally said those words. I promise.
What?
And I was like,
Did she go on a work trip?
"No, I go on work trips a lot."
So that was her impersonating you?
Yes. She's also like, whenever you say, "Oh, look at that painting. Isn't that pretty?" I did that. And I'm like, I don't know how to I don't want to discourage her.
Right.
To be like,
that's lying, but I like that you think that you could have that level of artistry.
yeah.
In your world.
I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I just kind of pass it up. I don't know if that's good parenting. I don't know how to deal with that situation. I don't want to correct her because I'm like, oh, and then I'm crushing her.
Right.
So then I'm just breeze past it. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Here, do you want a, a popsicle?
Well, that seems so bonkers to me. I mean, I'm sure you get criticism because you're a parent now in this world from everyone because you exist online, and that's the place where everyone puts their opinions onto everything constantly.
I mean, I feel like I don't wear it. I don't use her as a vehicle for my
Right.
online gratification. I mean, I posted like 4 pictures of her, and I think
Yeah.
I've stopped forever because I don't want her to become a warped, weird approval-seeking whore like I have been my whole life.
That's very healthy. That's very healthy.
I want her to be a tad more healthy, so I'm going to make her unhealthy in different ways for me.
There you go. Go
But-
the adverse route.
Yeah, and I think making her a celebrity, quote unquote, when she doesn't have like consent is
Yeah.
kind of icky to me. Like, no judgment if you want to post pictures of your child online. I
To
don't want
each
anyone
their own.
Exactly, but I don't unless I'm getting a huge brand deal
Yeah.
for her college.
Gerber's comes in like
Yeah.
big on something.
I mean, she's pretty damn cute. She looks like a Gerber baby. No, it is hard in this, and especially in this business, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know if you feel this, but as you age, you feel like you're growing out of an identity, and
Yeah.
yet that identity is your business and your person, your self worth.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to talk to you about a little bit. I think we talked about this a little bit last time, but the idea, like, when you go full force into the internet, you go full force and you tend to be completely wrapped up in, like, that's your identity. Like,
Yeah.
the way you exist online and the business that you carry online is your identity. I've for sure felt in the last 2 years just like a pump the brakes. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't want to force myself into something that just because I fundamentally know this could work in a trend way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's do this kind of prank thing. Let's do some Tide Pods.
Yeah.
It's hot right now. Like, I've always resisted that. I actually, anything that's popular, I reject normally.
Good for you.
But it is, you feel very hemmed in, and
Yeah. But
and
it feels like this goes into the book that you've just written.
yes, I just wrote a book.
Yeah.
It's called Embrace Your Weird, Face Your Fears, and Unleash Creativity. And absolutely, this whole book is kind of my journey of trying to rebuild myself in a more healthy way.
Yeah.
And I think the root of all that is creativity. And I really believe that everybody has an inner creator that needs to have life, even if it's just having a hobby or an outlet, or if you become a professional creator, that's fine too. But a lot of us are very inhibited and don't let that out. And I think I
Yeah.
wanted to do it in a fun, whimsical way in a book that was kind of interactive. So yeah, that's my new book.
So there are, like, things in the book that people can interact with, that people like worksheets and stuff like
Yes.
that, like
They're
brain
exercises.
building? Oh,
Yeah, they're
cool.
exercises. So I'll talk about procrastination, and then there'll be an exercise or two about, like, hey, and they'll be fun and have little
Cool.
graphics or just space. So I want people to write in the book. So it's this weird hybrid that my editor was like, is this going to work? And then we were like, yeah, this works.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, like, the artist way, I think, is a really great, like, template for that.
100%. It's without the God stuff.
That's good. Well, if that's the log line, I'm in.
I mean,
I'm sold.
But artist way is
No offense.
so heavy.
It's a little dramatic.
There's
for
fart
me.
jokes in this one. There's
That's
weird
great.
worded out unicorn drawings. So yeah, this is literally the artist way got me here. Like,
Really?
I did that book maybe 15 years ago when I first moved to LA, and it
Yeah.
really got me on a path that led me to here. And so I revisited it a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, I can't relate to this because there's some great things in it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, like, inner God and, like, very sort of spirituality, which didn't connect with me at the time as much.
Sure.
And I was like, let's do a funny one of these. Like, and it's my style. Like, it's not just that. I'm a self-help book addict.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
it's such a huge industry. It's like I actually bought The Artist Way like a year ago, like, again, because I did same thing when I lived in New York. I bought it. It was really great, very inspiring. Then I used to prop up my air conditioning unit and it got totally wet. But then I bought it and the workbook like a year ago and then just never touched it for some reason. I started to read, like, the beginning, and I think same thing. I just felt like, ooh, I'm not connecting with this.
Yeah, it's very much that sort of like I'm going to Santa Fe to commune with the crystals kind of vibe, which is totally fine as long as you engage with that. I just wanted to do one that was a little nerdier, a little quirkier, a little funnier.
How did you test out the worksheets or the interactive parts on any friends or family beforehand?
I mean, I did them myself. Like I'm always like, am I having fun? Because if I don't want to do this checkbox, like, and I would just sit down and be like, what's the most primal, accessible, funny way that I could do this? And some of them are like just, some of them are more straightforward just because I'm like, I couldn't trick somebody into like delving into the memories. But, but at the core of it, like there's always messages underneath when I'm talking, but I do it in a very personal way. And then I try to make it as funny as possible. But, this is profound. Like if you can rediscover who you are as a person, you can rediscover things that you want that you want to put in your life that can transform you, like truly transform you into a more happy person. And I'm not a cult leader. Although if this creates cults, God bless you with your creativity.
Yeah. Whatever happens, happens. But you're not responsible for it. You're
not responsible for cults. Like,
no.
I need more internet than that. I think you have to be offline to be a cultist. Or maybe you just do the first online cult, the pioneer of cults.
Have you gone to any like self-help retreats? Have you done any of that world?
I tried to do a silence one, but I left very quickly.
You did? Okay, wait. Hold on. How? Because my brother did the same thing for his 30th birthday. He thought he was a little lost in his world, and he's a very intellectual guy, and he signed up for like a 10-day like silent.
Oh, that's a hardcore. This was just a weekend.
Yeah, he went full force. I was like, oh, you're having a weird time at 30, but best of luck, Tim. But yeah, he said after like day 2, he was kind of over it.
Yeah, no, the weekend was torture. I left that night. I was just like, I can't. I mean, listen, like I think I'm kind of a skeptical person. I'm very science-based, and I do believe there are a lot of unconscious things that we can attribute to the way our brains work and things like that, but I don't think I'm being healed by crystal. I don't need to drink something and make me vomit. Like, there are a lot of things that I do not believe that are good for our body, and unless I believe in it, then it's not going to work.
Exactly.
If it's placebo effect, that's great. I just need to believe in it. So if it was a donut retreat, if we could do donuts and pina coladas,
oh my God.
retreat to get in touch with our inner selves, I am there.
How is that not your actual book tour that you're about to go on? Let's talk to your publishers and change things around a little bit.
I know. Let's buff it up.
How did you decide to go on this silent retreat? Was it just like, I'm just doing this?
It was a lady support. Now, listen, I am here because there was a lady support group in my past. Like, I created the guild. I wrote about this in my memoir where I was doing sketch comedy, and my teacher at the time, we became friends. And because she was in this group, she was like, come on, every week we're going to share our wins and losses in Hollywood.
That's amazing, though.
It was great. And it really spurred me to get off my butt and write something because they were actually productive and I was just playing video games. So the guilt and peer pressure worked.
There you go.
So I can't denigrate any of that, but I think you just have to find what works for you. And I think in the process of doing the book, especially, it's like, oh, everything's a process. You have to get to know yourself through work. You can't just be like, oh, I'm the person who, needs to be massaged to get my inner spirit out.
Right.
Or I need to really be tripping balls on some mushrooms.
Right.
Like, that's fine. Like, you just have to try things. I'm not telling everybody to go do mushrooms, please.
It's every man for themselves, woman, them for themselves. And you guys can figure it out. Everyone has a different process. I feel like that's part of the course is like testing out a bunch of different things and seeing what sparks your creativity and seeing what, like you're saying, unlocks whatever is locked up in you that helps like you understand yourself more. Yeah,
and we have to learn how to we deserve to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, I think it's schooling and stuff. I didn't go to school. I was homeschooled.
Right.
And so I think a lot of people are just taught to only do the bare minimum to get by. And that's especially for like learning and exploring the world. We're just like put in these boxes and it'd be like, get an A and then move on. I'm like, well, we're not really being taught to follow something we love or find something we love and do work that doesn't feel like work.
That's true.
So yeah, that's part of the book too. It's like, get off your ass and do something. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. Don't be sorry. I think this is wonderful. How, especially for someone that's had such a career and then, you get wrapped up in it and then you figure out like, shit, I need to figure out like the new phase of this career and how does this work for me? And especially having a kid and all of that. To be able to be open and honest and like help people figure out for themselves the way you figured out for yourself is
I think
really
the
cool.
bottom has to drop out to make us change.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to change if we're slightly uncomfortable ever. And I think that's
so true.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have to go through life crisis. We have to have these moments where we're at a branch where like we are so incredibly miserable that we do something about it. Like, or there's so many turtles being stuffed up with plastic straws, we outlaw them. Like, it's just like it has to be drastic to get us to change. And there are certain life changes like getting out of college, going to college, getting out of college, maybe turning 30 for a lot of people, having a baby, like retire. I'm sure there's benchmarks, and I think we need a lot of extra care around those transitions in our life.
Totally.
And so I wrote this book to try to help anybody through any transition rediscover who they are and like just try to find more fulfillment and playfulness in their life.
That's great. Did you write this while you were pregnant, before, after?
Oh no, I wrote it this last winter into spring, and it was when I was
you just churn that out.
I mean, I had to create. I literally lost my mind. I was like,
the bottom fell out.
It was bad, y'all. I was like, Portugal looks fine. Let's move there. I like that hill.
I would pay to see all of your search history from like December.
It was dark times. Well, I was weaning my baby, and I did not realize when I was in it. Nobody talks about things that women need to be talking about, like especially around pregnancy. You kind of like, oh yeah, you got postpartum depression right after you have a baby. No, you're depressed for years.
Yeah,
or at least I was. And when I started weaning her, like a lot of hormones went crazy in my body for like 8 months, and I was like literally, and like it was really rough in my business. I mean, I left my business a couple years ago, and I was like trying to do Hollywood stuff, and yet I never fit in Hollywood. It's never going to happen.
It's a weird like
it's
clique
a dirty,
that
terrible.
I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, no, I think I finally separated myself.
That's
but
good.
It really took a lot of therapy and a lot of like just getting my body back inside myself. And I literally wrote this book kind of putting myself back together. I was like, who the hell am I? How do I figure that out?
Yeah.
What do I want to do? I have all these blocks that have got like would spring up, like procrastination and jealousy and all these things. And I'm like, how do I deal with all this stuff? And like, I just kind of cobbled together in one book. So I realized after I wrote the book, I literally rebuilt myself from the ground up.
Wow.
So I don't know, hopefully, or people just, do some sketching in there.
Either way, I think that message is great, especially for a lot of people that have lived online for a lot of years and are feeling a very similar myself type of burnout and like rediscovery phase, and like giving the permission for this to be like a conversation that's normalized and not like, is it weird that we feel weird?
Well, I think we have this sense of self that gets very muddied, and it's very very, very, very aggravated by online. And I think if you imagine we had this little glowy like stone in our hearts, the internet makes us push that glow out so it's all just on our surface. And then anyone can punch it. And then we don't even know who we are. We're just an empty, sad shell, like one of those bunnies that you get at the Rite Aid for around Easter. And we are nothing inside.
And
I
that
think
bunny after Easter is 10 cents.
It's
and
10
you're
cents.
like,
And then someone's like, screw it, I'll just stomp its head in, right? I don't even want that 10-cent shitty ass bunny. So then you're like, I'm empty inside. What am I outside of being able to be punched? And then you're just like, you have to vacuum that soul back inside.
Whoa, that's a beautiful, weird visual on all that. On that note, we're going to take one quick break, and we'll be right back with more Felicia Day and punching bunnies, but not, the metaphorical kind.
Not too deep.
I bet you have a dream that you'd like to turn into a reality. Am I right? I'm right. Well, guess what? Squarespace is here to help you out. They make it easier than ever to launch your passion project. Do you want to start a new business? Do you want to showcase your work? Do you want to publish content? Do you want to sell products or more? Squarespace is the tool for you. They have beautiful templates created by world-class designers and the ability to customize just about anything with a few clicks, so you can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. They have a powerful e-commerce functionality that lets you sell anything online, and analytics that help you grow your site in real time. Everything is optimized for mobile right out of the box, and there's nothing to patch or upgrade ever. Buying domains is simple, and you'll get the help you need with their 24/7 award-winning customer support. They empower millions of people. I'm talking about designers, lawyers, artists, gamers, restaurants, gyms, They help them turn great ideas into something real. So head to squarespace.com/grace for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/grace, offer code GRACE.
Not too deep.
As the creators of clean beauty, Bare Minerals is driven by a philosophy that makeup and skincare should make your skin better, not just better looking. And that's why their best-selling original foundation is made with only 5 ingredients. Guess what? They're all minerals. For Bare Minerals to be clean without compromise means good for skin formulas with proven performance. Upgrade to the clean beauty products. Use the foundation finder at bareminerals.com to find your perfect match and get 20% off when you use the promo code NOT2DEEP. Bare Minerals, the power of good. Quick question. Would you rather go on vacation with Chrissy Teigen or Oprah?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a hard one.
I know. I don't even know my actual answer for this because Oprah the other day was going nuts about cauliflower on Instagram.
Wait, what'd she do?
Just screaming about how it's cauliflower's moment.
Is it cauliflower's moment? Is she a
According to
trendsetter?
Oprah.
Because what if Chrissy Teigen came out and it's like, no, it's asparagus season. Which one would you be into?
That's the kind of online fighting that I'm into. That's the only online confrontation that I'd like to see.
I feel like Chrissy Teigen would be too cool for me. Like all her musical references, everything all her friends. I would feel like I want to sit in a corner and curl up and maybe cry. Oprah, I feel like maybe doesn't have friends.
That is fair.
Right?
Like
she's all business. Like
maybe Gail would be there, but Gail might have like a pre-existing like event that she has to go to. I feel like Chrissy Teigen would be creating so much more online content than I would, that I'd feel inferior of like, I don't even know how to TikTok.
Oh no. I downloaded it and
you did? I haven't even gotten that far yet.
Oh no, I did, and I was like, oh no, you're too old now, or something. Or you don't care. Like my friend has a puppet that's shaped like a toilet roll paper.
Perfect.
Toilet paper roll. Toily, and I guess it's one of the first stars of TikTok. Got like 100,000 fans.
That's the most internet sentence of all time.
I know. I think he has a production deal now. I'm not even kidding. It's so, and I've just been, you and I have been, I mean, I haven't been in this much longer than you, but like you see all these phases of new platforms, new trends, and it just becomes tiring because you just are like, oh, okay, I see the blip that will be and I'm leaving.
Yeah. Have you thought about Cameo at all?
I know. Everybody's trying to get me on Cameo.
That's same. And I'm like, that's my literally pull the rip cord. If everything is falling to shit, if someone in my family gets super sick and I need to support them, like you'll see me on Cameo.
See me on Cameo and know that you're only there because you need it.
Yeah.
Me too. All right.
I don't think it will serve me in any fulfilling, creative way whatsoever.
I mean, that's what I think that's great about Patreon. When you have a Patreon, people know they're supporting you. You get to have a club.
Yeah, and because how long have you been working on Patreon now?
I've never had a Patreon.
You don't?
I do not have one because I've been putting my asshole into Hollywood thinking they're going to come out and be like, that's a great asshole. Am I going to say asshole?
Yeah, of course.
One day somebody's going to be like, let's hire that asshole. Finally, after 20 years, I've ignored her and her face. And even, it's fine. I'm not bitter.
No, none of us are bitter. We're all fine.
But my dream is to be like, I'm moving to Portugal. I'm going to have a Patreon and I'm going to Twitch stream and I'm going to write stories and do a private.
I don't know how you're not already on Patreon. That feels like, because you Twitch, which I don't fully understand, but I understand it's a community based like.
Yeah, I don't have any, I have like a one-time fee for that because I felt guilty that I couldn't be there every week, all the time. But
sure,
it's fine. I'm an idiot about money. I do have to support my child. I do fan conventions. That's kind of the way that
you're out and about all the time.
Yeah, so that's the way I meet people face to face and have people support me. Like, it's fine. Like, it's fun for me too. I get to travel. And so if I were to ratchet that back, I would do a Patreon. Also, that's more creative. So I'm thinking about it. Maybe next year.
It'll be there. I feel like that's the platform that is thriving right now and is like attracting a lot of people that like you, like myself and Mamrie have our podcast on Patreon.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful way to build like a community that feels, like you said, like a club.
Yeah, that's what I miss. That is always what I've done with my content.
Because that's how YouTube felt when we first started. It felt like a little club that we were all part of, and that everyone that was part of our part like was in this like fun little group.
It was really a good click.
Yeah, it was a nice community.
And then it just fell apart. It got stabbed in the face.
No,
such a cesspool.
I get scared every time I like open a tab to like click on YouTube. Do you
I have-
watch like
no.
things online at all?
Nope. I left YouTube behind when I left my company, and I have literally, I don't think I've watched a video in a year.
Really?
I mean, I watched some, random little tiny
Yeah.
things there, but I don't follow anybody in there anymore. It's just, I mean, I was always kind of weird on that platform, and I made, my stuff that could have been anywhere, and I always felt like an outsider. I always watched you
Sure.
and May Marie and Hannah. I was like, they're so cool.
Oh,
I'm
and
just
we
on the
watched you
outside.
starting a business going, she's so cool.
Oh, well, we should probably talk to them.
Yeah. I mean, we're all kind of hovering right now. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a world in which we all come together.
We should just all create an island.
Yeah, if all of our rings combine.
Yes, like Captain Planet, but not crappy.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reboot to be had.
I know.
Um,
With irony.
A lot of people, we're going to get into, after this, a lot of Twitter questions, but a lot of people wanted to know about your music taste.
Well, I have very little. I listen to The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round, or like Three Little Ravens Sat on Us. I mean,
So you haven't gotten into the Baby Shark hysteria.
no, she doesn't really like Baby Shark.
Thank God.
So Calliope, the only music I listen to the podcasts because I really like, the only time I can learn something is in the car.
Sure.
So I listen to a lot of like ancient history podcasts because I like to have the long view of how insignificant I am in the scheme of existence. That's really exciting for me.
That's good.
And, and then I listen to children's music, and she is super into Halloween songs.
Oh, really?
And that's January through October.
Oh, no.
And then another January. Like every day, it's 100 Halloween songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know. And I don't like it.
Also, how many Halloween songs are
Oh,
there?
there's a cornucopia of children's Halloween songs. The worst thing is when she's like, I want firefighter songs. So then I have a whole playlist of about 25 of those. Then she's like, I want doctor songs. Then I'll find 10. And then she's like, I want a spider doctor song, many of them. I'm like, lady, there is clearly an underserved niche of spider doctor songs on Spotify.
Put that out there to anyone that's been too afraid to upload their Spider Doctor song, that there is an audience ready and waiting.
She kind of has this idea that there's a song for anything. So she'll be like, Seagull song. And inadvertently, there will be inevitably a...
Yeah, so you can't prove her wrong. Her theory is it stands up.
Yeah, and it's a world I never wanted to be a part of, children's entertainment.
I know. I'm so fascinated by this now. I'm like, is that my new phase of career work?
Yes.
That I just start writing? Because you don't really have to be able to sing,
Nope.
right?
And some of them are so low quality. We
Great.
could make
That's
I
my
mean, I'm not
MO.
kidding.
That's how I operate.
There's some low hanging fruit there in the children's music department. I'm just going to tell you that.
That's really good to know. If she wrote a memoir right now, how would that go?
Don't clean my shit. Because she will not let me change her diaper.
Really?
I don't know. And every time I'm like, do you want a rash in your vagina and your butt? Do you want a rash?
And she's like, that's
she's
just
like,
folklore.
Yeah.
That hasn't
and then
happened yet.
Nope. It's happened many times.
Oh.
I, as a woman who had 20 employees at once, produced a video a day, was be flown around the world to work on many TV shows. The wiping a butt. Yesterday I had to wipe a shitty asshole in front of a closed Sharky's on Beverly Drive.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, it's the idea of being a mom in Hollywood has like a little bit of an elegance to it, or just like,
Does it?
I mean, I can't relate. So from my perspective, I guess the curated online persona of people that are doing it all.
It infuriates me. I mean, those are people who have people to handle them.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
I honestly, some people's Instagrams feeds, I'm like, you have a staff in there.
Yeah.
You have a photographer. If you have a photographer on staff, you have makeup and hair on staff. You must have 5 nannies. You have a glossy. It's just you have an estate.
Yeah.
I don't have the pay grade for any of that or the patience. If somebody tries to do my nails, I'll punch them in the face. So.
So you literally still do it all.
I mean, I have scaled higher in the sort of like, oh, you need a lot of people. And I'm sure you've had this, we all have peaks and valleys. And I didn't understand this, but you got to go up and then you go down and you go up and you down.
Mm-hmm.
And like the ones where I was like, oh, I have a PR person and and this agent, manager, PR person, assistant, like it is annoying.
Yeah, it feels it's overwhelming, and it just, I always felt too much pressure added to like
So much pressure.
my creative experience.
Well, then they're just like, yeah, I got to support these 7 people.
Yeah.
And they're all just sucking up to me because I'm paying them, you
right.
know.
I guess I always forget that like this isn't a real human connection.
The minute the paycheck stops, it's like, bye, you know. Not really. I mean, I'm actually friends with a lot of my old employees because probably I wasn't a good boss.
But that's an impossible thing. That's the one thing that I could never scale up like that because I don't know how to manage people. And like in that world, I don't even know how you even learn other than just by doing.
No, you're just trial by fire, unless you're raised in it. And that's why when you see like, oh, there's a son or a daughter of a famous person, they have a leg up. Well, you know, they're kind of in this everybody else's boat, but they've seen how it works. Like I came from a very poor family and who was a military family. I thought a Goodwill toy was like, that was exciting, you know, and I moved here with nothing, right? So anything I've gotten is a blessing.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily value money. I'm certainly not stylish.
Girl, no, I saw your tweets about fall colors and getting excited about that.
I did. I mean, I do like a good jewel tone.
Who doesn't?
I'm just so pale. Any color makes me better. I'm an albino sheet. I'm like a white wall. Like, put a color on me. If you put white here, it's like, where'd she go?
Don't worry. It's after Labor Day, so you're safe now.
Is that a rule?
Isn't it no white after Labor Day?
No.
Supposedly. I don't know why. Voyage to the Stars.
Oh, we're talking about that? Yes.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's a really good podcast. Why aren't you guesting on it?
Well, for people that don't know what this is, it's like a sci-fi improv-based comedy podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. How does that even work in the world of podcasting? Like that blows my mind.
So we get a script. So we got to know what's going on in the episode. And then each section is like a log.
Okay.
And then we will have like a beginning, middle, and end. So it'll be a paragraph. Like, this is what happens in here. And then you as a character will be like, okay, Elsa really wants Tucker to go off planet.
Got it.
And then at the end, make sure to drop in that your parents are somewhere. So then we will have like 2 or 3 story points. But it's just like 3 lines, and then we go, and then we record for 30 minutes, and they cut it down later. So
That's so cool.
Yeah, so there's no dialogue that we just do improv. You would be so good at it. You should come do the show.
It's super fun. How did that get started?
That was my friend Ryan Koppel, who is actually, I picked him off the internet one day. Back in the day when I did the Guild, I would just search for people who I thought were really cool and talented. And I'd just be like, hey, friend, because I don't have other friends. He became a really good friend of mine. Then he ran production for me. He worked for me from at Geek and Sundry. He had a production, then he ran the company.
Cool.
And then he left. And then 2 years went by, and then we were like, hey, we work really well together. So we actually have a company together.
Nice.
After he started doing Voyage, I was like, oh, so he asked me to do Voyage. And then I'm like, oh, we work so well together. So we're working on a bunch of projects together right now.
Sweet. It feels like such a cool, interesting way to use podcasts in like a new way.
Yeah. I mean, I think we both really love scripted content. We love nerdy genre content.
Sure.
And so I am so admiring of him. I think this is a really pioneering format. And I think as an improviser, like I've done improv since I first moved to LA and I love it. But, you know, a lot of improv is not very exciting to listen to because it's kind of meandery.
Sure.
And so now we have like a beginning and an end, and we just make up as funny stuff in between, and then they edit it down.
That's awesome though. That's very, very cool.
You have to come on.
I would love to. Even though improv scares me at this point, but I'd be so down because it just started its 2nd season.
Yes, it just started its 2nd season. Well, it started 2nd season September 17th, and we're rolling out, I think, 26 episodes. So it's like a whole, a lot of episodes. And then we have some really good guest stars like Angela Kinsey and Oscar Nunez from The Office. Yeah.
Cool.
And Jesse Cox, my friend, who's like a streamer, and like Paul F. Tompkins.
Oh, nice.
He's like the improviser. So yeah, the great guest stars. It's really fun.
That's awesome. That's super cool. A lot of people want to know, I want to know, what do you do for fun?
What?
What do you do for fun?
No, what?
Oh, fun.
What is that? What is
that? For the time when you're not taking care of your daughter.
Or working.
Or maybe sleeping.
I mean, my favorite thing to do is travel.
Yeah.
And so I can't do that with a kid. I just can't.
Yeah. Has she been on a plane yet?
Oh, no. She's been on a plane dozens of times because the first 2 years I took her everywhere I went.
Oh, wow.
Because I was breastfeeding, and it is just horrible to get milk out of your tits. Okay. I will just tell you that now. It's
all
wonderful.
I needed to hear. I'm good.
It's wonderful. And I'm like so proud of myself.
Yeah.
I could just make food from my body. It's wonderful. And it's like great. It just was really hard to get going. And then when I got it, I was like, oh, I'm staying here. So for 2 years, I fed her with my breast.
Wow.
Is that too graphic? It
No,
shouldn't be.
that's just the most natural part of life.
It's the reason why you have them is to feed a baby.
It's the reason I think most of us are alive right now.
It's true. And so after 2, I was like, bye. So that she stayed home. So she hasn't flown this year.
Okay.
But I will fly her. I will take her with me after I do book tour. So
yeah, because you're coming up. This episode will air after you've done, or maybe towards the end of the book tour.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Because your first book came out in what, 2015?
15.
Yeah. So it's been 4 years.
I know, it's a lot. I'm really excited. I just I wrote this book because people really liked my memoir, and some of the things they took away from it, where it's like, oh yeah, I started creating because of you, or I got help for my anxiety because of you.
Cool.
So I was like, oh, that sounds more useful than doing another Hollywood pitch that no one buys. Sounds like a more fulfilling, in general.
100%.
So that's the whole point. So I really hope that people enjoy it. And I'm kind of excited to go on tour. It'll be the longest I've been away from her. It's 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of hard because she's now can talk and she's like, Mama, I go with you.
So
Mama.
she knows what's happening.
Yeah,
she
that's
knows
the problem.
Oh, no.
It's not good.
She's not blissfully unaware anymore.
No, she's not like a little meat sack. So she's really fun. So it's going to be a little tough, but when I get back, it'll be fine. She'll forget it, right? Right?
That's how babies work. That's how 2-year-olds work, right? That's how my brain works currently.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I'm going to be 34, so we're all good. Okay, we're going to take one last break. When we get back, we have a bunch of Twitter questions for you. So we'll be right back when we're not too deep.
Not too deep.
Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, all made up days designed to get you to buy more stuff. So let me tell you about another made up day. It's called Sell Your Shit Sunday. Yep. Sell Your Shit Sunday. It's a day to sell the stuff you don't use anymore, created by Mercari. You know Mercari, the selling app that makes selling your stuff fast and easy. So here's what you do. You go through your home, you find all the good stuff that you don't use anymore, the phone in the drawer, the jeans that you wore one time, the handbag that's in the back of your closet. You take a few pictures, add a description, boom, your item is connected to 1 million buyers. It's super easy. Mercari even emails you a shipping label when it sells. The app has over 500,000 reviews on the App Store with an average 4.8 star rating. So why not give it a try? Finally, an app that makes you money. Check out Mercari and make every day Sell Your Shit Sunday. The day may be made up, but the money is real. That's Mercari, MERCARI, the selling app.
Not too deep.
If there is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, BetterHelp Online Counseling can help you out. They offer licensed professional counselors who are specialized in issues like depression, anxiety, relationships, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBTQ matters, grief, self-esteem, and more. Connect with your professional counselor in a safe and private online environment. Get the help at your own time and at your own pace. Everything you share is completely confidential. It's so convenient. You can even schedule secure video or phone sessions, as well as chat and text with your therapist. And if for some reason you're not happy with your counselor, you can request a new one at any time for no additional charge. Best of all, it's affordable, and you will get 10% off your first month with the discount code GRACE. So get started by going to betterhelp.com/grace, then fill out a simple questionnaire that helps them assess your needs and match you with a counselor that you'll love. Again, betterhelp.com/grace. Okay, we're back. You answered these at the last time you were on an episode of Not Too Deep, but we're going to present them to you again. The 2 questions that I ask every single guest.
I forgot them.
Perfect. I forgot what your answers were. So we're on an even playing field. The first question I ask every guest is, who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Oh, cold spaghetti?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you'd have to interpret it. Is it a fun, playful thing to do?
It's
cold spaghetti?
It's
I'd like to get it in Donald Trump's hair. That would be pretty, it would mess that up. It would get greasy.
I feel like cold spaghetti is a little sticky.
Yeah.
So it's hard
uncomfortable. He probably has texture issues as well as moral issues.
Yeah. I can see that in my mind's eye. Okay, the other question is to tell us your worst pants shitting story or close call. But you can only use 3 words or 3 small phrases. So mine is college jogging front lawn.
It has to be yesterday.
It has to be.
Diaper shitty Sharkies.
Perfect.
It was so traumatic. I can't tell you. Because she had a bag around her vagina because we needed to capture her pee to take it to the doctor because she might have something going on down there. So like she had a bag and I guess they have a sticker bag to put around your vagina to catch pee because babies don't know how to pee on command.
I don't know how this works
and then
at all.
the crap got everywhere, inside the bag, around the bag, up. And then I had the diaper on loose, so then her skirt got into it, but she loves her skirt. So she wouldn't let me take it off, so I'm wiping a skirt.
Oh, it just gets worse.
It was on my hands. It was on the Sharkies. And thank God the Sharkies was close. Thank God.
Yeah. That was the best part of the story. That was the only helpful part of the story.
Thank you, Sharkies, for giving me an alcove on a public street to wipe a baby's butthole.
God. All right. Let's get into these Twitter questions. The first one is, how's life going now that you're a mom? But I feel like we did that.
We did
it. What's your guilty pleasure subreddit?
Oh, it was the skincare one.
What's that?
I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's the one where I just learned slugging it.
What? I don't
Have
know
you heard of slugging?
No.
So I this is the wrong demographic. When you get older and your skin starts to dry up as your soul does,
tell me everything.
Dry husk of a woman. I'm not even that old, but anyway, internet terms old.
Yeah.
I read about I have just really dry skin because especially just having weaned the baby and just having hormonal issues and it's better now. But anyway, my skin is dry as ass, and especially when I fly, it gets so dry.
Yeah.
So I guess the whole thing on the Reddit was slugging it is putting on top of all your products, you put either Aquaphor or Vaseline. Oh. And I was like, Vaseline on your face? But then my dad's a plastic surgeon. I was like, he's like, yeah, that's an occlusive. And it basically seals in moisturizer. Oh. And so what I did was I started putting it over my products. Now, if you have any acne prone things, do not do this.
Okay.
If you're going to break out, don't do it. But I put it on my cheeks and under my eyes and it got rid of everything.
Really?
A smooth baby,
and this is all because of this subreddit that you saw?
Yeah, I saw it on there, yeah.
Well, dang. All right. So the internet is super helpful.
It's my guilty pleasure.
But also a pleasure. Yeah. Okay. Someone says, what's a moment she had recently that made her love being a mom?
Oh.
So I feel like this is the opposite of what you just told us.
So I had a really bad day of meetings and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with my life. And she came up and was like, Mama, I love you just the way you are.
She's too
randomly
mature.
No, she is. It's
her
creepy.
Emotional intelligence is above and beyond.
It's a little creepy. Other babies are like, oh, I'm a baby. And then she's like, Mother.
I've been thinking that you seem a little stressed out about your work opportunities. And I wanted to reassure you that you are in fact loved in this household.
I don't know. I was like, I just paid for therapy for somebody to tell it. And that actually worked way better than when she told me. Yeah.
Oh, that's very sweet.
It was very sweet.
What was her first word?
It was Mama.
Oh.
She's kind of obsessed with me, guys. Number one fan.
That's so cute. Someone wants to know, what is a made-up profession that you'd love to have? I feel like you've been talking about, going to Portugal a lot?
Yeah, it would be a Portugal astronomer croissant maker.
So you make croissants for the nighttime when you can look at the stars?
I'll look at the stars and I'll feel what flavor should I make tomorrow? And then be like, guava.
Yeah, I think that's an underserved market.
Really? Listen, I think if we did that in LA, it would sell out, just like that moon dust.
Yeah, what was that? Was that Goop product?
Yes.
That was the moon?
Still there.
Oh, man.
Unfortunately. There's, yeah.
Okay, someone wants to know, which community or show has the best and kindest fandom? Do they differ for you?
I mean, yeah, I feel like, I think they're all unconditional. Well, okay, no, because some fandoms, especially in the video game world, I will say that there are certain sub fandoms that are like, you're not a nice fandom.
Yeah.
I will not specify any because I don't want any trolls to come over here and be like,
I would be shocked if they listened to this. But if they do, it's only flattering.
Yeah, but I love, actually, the Supernatural community is really incredible because I think, the guys spearhead a lot of charity.
Yeah.
And so charity and doing outreach and community building and
That's awesome.
supporting each other around depression and anxiety and all that. Misha Collins especially and Jared, they really just do a lot of advocacy, I think, of They really, I mean, they do conventions every weekend, and it's like,
Wow.
they're for 10 years they've done this. And
That's
so the
so
world,
nuts.
the army kind of they've built up over around the world is like means a lot to people. And so, yeah.
There's a ton of questions about Supernatural. Like, did you have any idea that your character would be so loved? Like, how are you like, is it coming back? Is like, everyone's very concerned
Well,
about it.
there's one season left, y'all. They are ending it after 15.
And that's a lot of people want to know your feelings on that.
I mean, I'm sad. I cried.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on that show 8 years. So I went dark for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and I'm really hoping that I get to come back this season. I cannot assure you of anything.
Right.
But we will see. They're bringing a lot of people back, so we'll see. But yeah, like even walking on set, it feels like that's the home. It's like a home for me.
And you guys shoot that in Canada?
It's in Vancouver. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I always, like for the last 10 years, I've only flown to work as an actress. I actually got a job on The Rookie earlier this year, and driving to work was so weird. I was like, am I going to go act?
Yeah.
Do people act in this town?
They're going to see the car I drive?
Yeah,
I guess.
this is so weird. I'm in a car. I'm not being driven by a Teamster.
That's really nuts. But that, yeah, a lot of people are asking about that and like very sentimental about it. I didn't realize that they had a convention every weekend.
I mean, they do only their exclusive conventions too.
Wow.
So I do a lot of big ones, but I do those as well. And yeah, no, it's like a tight knit. They're really small conventions too. They're like 500-600 people at the most.
That's nice though. It's intimate.
Yeah, so you see the same people all the time, and like people just expressly go to party. So it's actually great.
That's really sweet. Someone wants to know, how is your relationship with Twitter going?
What do you think about Twitter?
I don't
lately.
It's exactly how I'm expressing it right now. Confusing to create an actual sentiment about it that is articulate. It's confusing to me, and I need to reprogram how I ask for questions for the podcast, because I feel like I ask on Twitter and then I forget that Twitter is like sometimes terrible and sometimes helpful. It is unfortunately like my go-to for news.
Yeah.
But it's only because I'm just conditioned now to look at Twitter moments all the time and use that as like, this is the thing I should be knowing about.
I mean, it's good. I mean, at least you're not just, because I only look at my political feeds, which is just like rainforest burning, children being caged.
That's what I saw. You're very political on Twitter. And I think that's really interesting, because I go in peaks and valleys of that on there, because I feel like it's met with criticism when you try and like do something helpful.
Of course. And I did temper that a lot in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I just had some hot button topics where I'm just like, girl, unless you're using your platform for a little good, and good meaning like they're just things that I think are unacceptable.
Right.
They're being done in their government, in our world. And so if I alienate, like, oh, I'm sorry, a butter company doesn't want to sponsor me because I'm too controversial, I'm like, take your butter money and shove it up your beehole. Yeah. Okay? I'm okay not having that endorsement. And I think, I do see some people, and especially like I did a lot of fundraisers over the last couple of years against like the situation at the border, especially with regard to children. I mean, literally our government has 2-year-olds going on trial to defend themselves not to get too deep. Sorry, I'm getting deep.
No, but there's the video. I've watched the videos of it. It makes me cry. Yeah.
These children don't even speak the language. They don't know what, and they're literally on trial, and the judge has to rule whether they're going to get sent back or not. So it's crazy. Yeah. And it's not changing. It's just getting worse. So I reached out to a lot of people to, hey, come and do a fundraiser. We ended up raising several $100,000.
Amazing.
But a couple of people were like, I can't talk about political stuff. My fan base doesn't like it. And I'm like, so if you need to marginalize your beliefs, and this is the slow creep I think we talked about a little bit in social media, like I can't be myself because I will alienate some people that are by business.
Right.
At a certain business, at a certain point, your business becomes your identity.
Right.
And therefore you stand for nothing.
Because then everything that they preach about authenticity, which is like, these are your real viewpoints and like opinions about it, gets watered down if you're hiding that behind the scenes so that you can hawk some like brand deal situation.
Exactly. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to be like totally Swiss neutral on all political stuff. I don't think in this climate right now that you're doing you or your world a service.
True.
And like, if I'm going to dig in on certain things, I don't know how you can be really like, I'm very against global warming. Like I'm just really against it, guys. Like I don't need that person as a fan. No. Like just quite frankly, I don't mean to be a jerk. We just don't synergize.
Your viewpoints don't align, and it's probably best for both of you to part ways in that
Exactly.
moment.
I will open a croissant. I will open my astronomy croissant thing to support myself. Thank you. But I think once I started doing that, it was very painful.
Yeah.
I mean, I got like I went through a horrible trauma with Gamergate. Like a lot of people crawled up. It was very, very traumatic, and it separated me from the gaming world a lot as a profession. But it was ultimately fine because I was alienating people who were only conditionally approving of my behavior. And therefore I was leaving myself behind in order to be okay with them. So I was, after the trauma kind of faded, it made me a lot more able, and I know that I'm capable of supporting myself no matter what. And therefore I will be able to invest better in the people who I want to hang out with in my community. If it's a smaller community, it will be a better quality community because we don't allow that kind of like trolling and attitudes. I'm not saying that we need a monolithic, like you have to agree with my political views to be my fan. I'm just saying there are certain topics that are important to me. And if you can tolerate them in your feed, if you disagree with them, that's fine. And if you really don't want to see me talk about them, I'm, maybe just consume my content and not follow me on Twitter.
Everyone has the option to consume you however they want. The thing is, you feeling sound and resolute in like the way you're presenting yourself and your thoughts and feelings, like that's what's going to attract people regardless of like their 100% agreement with every single thing that you stand for.
Yeah, because as a creator, if you're living this sort of shell life, how do you get in touch with who you are inside?
Oh, that's more depleting emotionally than like getting so many more subscribers or followers because you're just placating this like system of beliefs or something.
If you imagine, like, think back to some of the, your videos were so funny. Like your first like daily great, like back in the day, they were so like spontaneous and organic and joyful, and like you were just doing this because you had this human impulse to share, right?
And now it's like the retooling of, the whole system has changed. And like that impulse isn't in me right now. So instead of trying to force that impulse or fake that impulse, I'm going to sit back for a little bit and like see
become something new.
Yeah.
But that's okay, right? Like that's the struggle.
Dude, I'm going to follow your book and my artistic endeavors will start flourishing again, even though this podcast is really fun and it's the one solid thing that's going on. Felicia, this has been so fun. Thank you for coming back on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Now to call out the fortune cookie that's been the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Every guest on the podcast gets a personalized fortune cookie from us to them that they can open and read.
Oh, it's like, is it like when you give somebody a greeting, like a birthday card, and then somebody insists that they read it in front of you, and then you get real awkward, like, I don't really want to read this in front of you, but I guess, it's really long. Okay, I'll just read this 5-page letter then. You'll just stare at me while I read it, and I guess I should do big reactions, and like, there's no fortune in here.
No, it's not like that at all.
Okay, all right, here we go. I'm unwrapping. Ooh, it's beautiful. Really long, actually.
Thank you.
Here's a great idea for your next line of merch. Jewel tones and lots of it, baby. Hell yeah, I'm going to the mall now.
There you go. I think that's perfect. Where can people find the book? Where can people, because it's on audiobook as well, and the podcast and everything that you're up to.
So you can find Voyage to the Stars at VTTS on all the socials, but then go to Voyage to the Stars on Apple. Anywhere you get podcasts, it's free. Just download it.
Sweet.
My book is at FeliciaDayBook.com. And you could go, the book tour dates are irrelevant to you because you'll miss me unless you can get back in time.
But the book and the audiobook are all available right now in case you haven't already picked it up.
Yeah, it's Embrace Your Weird. So check it out.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace.
Of course. We'll see you guys next time on Not Too Deep. Goodbye.
Too deep, too deep, too deep, not too deep with Grace Helbig.
Whatever struggles you are facing, from depression and anxiety to trauma and grief, BetterHelp can connect you with a professional counselor in a safe and private online environment. It's so convenient. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, as well as chat and text with your therapist. And anything you share is completely confidential. Best of all, it is affordable, and you will get 10% off your first month with the discount code GRACE. So why not get started? Go to betterhelp.com/grace. Fill out a questionnaire to get matched with a counselor that you'll love today. Not Too Deep is a production of Grace Helbig Incorporated, producer Melissa D. Montz, camera operator Katrina Henning, edited by Shireen Lani Yunus, post-production sound by Chris Henry, and an extra special thanks to Flula for the theme music.